The immaterial presences around the dying shortly before the exit of their soul. The real event we are recording took place around 1940, before the start of the Second World War. The priest, Father Theodore, was called to give communion to two dying Christians, a rich, cruel, and avaricious and a virtuous widow who grew up alone, with honesty and sobriety, hard struggling, and much poverty in those years, with 8 children. Father Theodore took with him his deacon, Father Lawrence, the young man in front on the side, the deacon, and the priest with the holy chalice, uncovered and with air on his shoulders, as was customary at that time. He had a little covering on his shoulders. First went to the rich man's house, but he did not even want to hear about the Holy Communion. He only shouted, "I am not for death." A dialogue took place as much as possible between the priest and the sick person, but he was adamant. He did not want to receive Holy Communion. Then the deacon, Father Lawrence, said, "Father Theodore, please give me the Holy Chalice so that I can go and receive Holy Communion with the dying. I can give Holy Communion to the dying Lady Maria, and you can talk with the patient until I return. And if he's convinced, the communion, you can give him communion afterwards." "Go, my child," said Father Theodore, "with my best wishes." The youth in front with the oil lamp and the deacon behind with the Holy Communion arrived at the poor lady's house. They went inside and saw around the bed of Mrs. Maria her children, her grandchildren. Other relatives were present, and everyone was crying for this wonderful mother, grandmother, and their relative. As soon as the deacon went a little further, he stopped motionless. What did he see? An unspeakable sight. She was surrounded not only by people or this sanctified soul, but also by dozens of angels and archangels who crowded into the room, who will be the first to caress and who will be the first to soothe and first to wipe the sweat of this blessed mother. And that was not all. Right above her little head, that is, on her forehead, was the Blessed Virgin Mary, who with a divine handkerchief was wiping the sweat of the fever from her forehead. And the lips of the dying woman whispered, "Rejoice, bride, give birth," meaning meaning it's Hail Mary, full of grace. And oh, the miracles! All the angels fell on their faces and worshipped the entering all holy chalice, that is, the holy chalice having the body and blood of our Lord Jesus Christ, that contained the holy body and blood of the Lord, all angelic powers, and the most holy Theotokos, the Holy Mother, in an incomprehensible way embraced the holy chalice and led the deacon to receive communion, to give communion to the dying woman. After the Holy Communion, the angels took the soul of this Blessed Mother, delivering it to the hands of the Virgin Mary, and together they ascended to heaven. The place flashed, the room was filled with moss and with fear, and with the deacon with fear and indescribable joy and jubilation left and returned to the rich man's house. He entered and was seized with a shiver, for around the bed of this avaricious man were hundreds of demons who with terrible tridents pierced his body in various places, in the knees and the feet, the hands, the palms, the belly, the larynx, the eyes, the head. With all the members he sinned, the demons were piercing on them. The suffering rich man was screaming and shouting. Trembling, the deacon delivered the holy chalice into the hands of the priest, and he fainted from his terror. The deacon fainted. The priest tried in vain to convince the rich man to prepare for the end, but nothing, to no avail. He finally died without Holy Communion and without confession. This is Bibliography, Knowledge and Experience of the Orthodox Faith by Father Stephen Agnostopoulos, and this is a true event that happened in 1940, just before the Second World War. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.